Hello everyone, this is JD Unity here, and I am going to start a new series of tutorials and I hope you like them. I know that I didn't finish the last tutorials about the inventory system, and I'm sorry about that, I just didn't have time to do it. But anyways, let's start with this, and what I'm going to do here is to show you guys how to pick items, how to add some score to the player and some lives, and also checkpoints and dead zones. So, and I am going to do that just with a simple script or some simple scripts and small scripts, and I am going to show you how to use NGUI to show the score here and lives and everything in it. So NGUI is a plugin you can get from the asset store for $90 or so, and it's really worth it. You should check it out. So let's start with this. I'm going to create a tag for the items. So I'm going to create a tag called item here, and I'm going to add it to the sphere. So yeah, it has it right now. And I'm going to check, if you don't have it, just check this option here, the trigger option, so we can pass through the item. I'm gonna just show you that. If I don't have the trigger selected, I don't pass through the item and I just stop right there. And with trigger, pass through the item, and that is what we need. So let's just start creating our first script here, which is going to be the script for item. And this is going to be a very basic and small script. It is just going to have some properties. So oops, let's just create some variables here. This is going to have a variable for scores, so let's make this a float score, and a variable for lives, one for checkpoint, maybe if it is a checkpoint, and one for dead zone. And that's all I need here. And I am going to add this item to the sphere. So the sphere now has this item, and I am going to tell the sphere, which I'm gonna make it an apple, to have a score of 10. So every time I collide with this item, it is going to add 10 points to the player and 1 life. I'm gonna go ahead and create a prefab of this. So I'm going to prefab, create prefab, and I'm going to make it an apple. It can be anything. So let's just add the sphere to the apple, and I'm going to delete this one and place some apples here. Alright. Okay, so I now have some items to work with. I am going to create the script to handle collisions. So this is going to be our character interaction script. And this character interaction script, I'm going to delete that. And one thing to notice is that I am not going to use the update function here. We don't really need it, and you should try to avoid it as much as possible. So let's just create our function to check for collisions and trigger enter collider item. This function is going to check for collisions. So every time I collide with an item, I want to check if with an object, I'm sorry, every time I collide with an object, I want to check if that object is an item. So let's just ask here if it is. So item, if item that tag is equals to item, if item that tag is equals to item, let's just add some score to the player. And I am going to add to create the variables for the player here. You can create it anywhere you want, maybe in a player script if you have it. So let's just create, we made that let's make this public so we can access it from a code or something like that later on. Public float score and one for lives, int lives, and that's it. And this score is going to be, we are going to add the score of the item. So let's say it's 10 points, but I just don't want to add 10 points every time I collide with an object, with an item. I want to add whatever the item has, so it may have 10 points, but it may have 20 or 0 points. So let's just say that this is going to be our item. I'm going to access the script of the item in particular. So item that get component item that score, and let's start this score at 0 and the player lives at 3. So score is going to be score plus item that get component item. So I'm accessing the script item from the object I'm colliding with, and I'm getting to its core. So I am going to do the same for lives here. So lives is going to be equals to lives plus item that get component item that that lives. And just because it is the same, I am going to create a variable here. So the variable is going to be the type item. It's going to be IT or whatever you want, and it's going to be equals to item with component item. That's it. And I'm going to say this is going to be equals to IT. It's to IT that lives. Okay, so I have everything I need now. Let's just add this character interaction to our player and test it to see if it works. So I'm going to add the character interaction. Here, let's just add this to our player. See if it has it. Yeah, it starts with 0 points and 3 lives. And let's test this to see if it works. Oops, looks like I didn't. Let's make it from the profile. I'm going to check the is trigger option. It looks like I just did it on one eye, so I'm going um, to um, to check the trigger option for every single item. And let's go to see if it is adding. Yeah, it is. Oops, always do that. Alright, you can see now that it is adding the points we need, but the items are not destroying itself. And that's just one line we're missing, so let's add that. Once I add the score and lives, I want to destroy this object, so destroy, oops, destroy item that game object. Now let's test this. Ooh, it works. Let's see, it should have 30 points. I'm sorry, 30 points and 6 lives, and it is working just fine. Yeah. So I think that's everything for this tutorial. In the next one, I'm going to use the NGUI system to actually show the score in our screen. So I hope you like it, guys, and I hope it is useful to you, and I will see you later.